The heavy Lagos rain was pouring down like it wanted to wash the entire city clean that evening. A thin, soaked girl in a faded blue dress stood shivering outside the massive iron gates of Chief Adewale Okonkwo's mansion in Victoria Island. Her name was Amara. She was 19 years old, and this was her last hope. In her trembling hands, she held a crumpled, rain-soaked envelope. The letter inside could change everything. The security guards looked at her with suspicion. "Move away, small girl. This is not a place for beggars." "Please," Amara begged, her voice almost lost in the rain. "I need to give this letter to Chief Adewale. It is very urgent. It is about his mother." One of the guards laughed. "Chief's mother died 5 years ago. Go away before we call the police." But Amara refused to move. She had walked for hours through flooded streets from the poor area of Ajagunle. Her mother was dying in a government hospital, and this letter was the only thing that could save her. After almost 30 minutes of pleading, one guard finally took pity and called the house. Inside the luxurious living room, Chief Adewale Okonkwo, one of Nigeria's richest men, was sitting with his fiancée, Bianca, a beautiful and ambitious young socialite from a powerful political family. When the guard informed him about the poor girl with a letter about his mother, Adewale's face changed. "Let her in," he said quietly. Bianca rolled her eyes. "Darling, why are you entertaining this nonsense? Probably another beggar trying to get money." But Adewale insisted. When Amara was brought into the grand living room, dripping water on the expensive marble floor, she looked completely out of place among the chandeliers and luxury furniture. She held the letter with both hands like it was her life. Chief Adewale looked at her kindly. "What is this letter about, my child?" Amara's voice shook as she spoke. "Sir, my mother worked as a maid in your mother's house many years ago. Before your mother died, she gave my mother this letter to deliver to you. My mother kept it safe all these years. Now she is dying in the hospital and made me promise to give it to you." Bianca snatched the letter from Amara's hands before Adewale could take it. "What nonsense is this?" Bianca said angrily and tore the letter into pieces right in front of everyone. Amara gasped in horror. "No." Chief Adewale stood up suddenly, his face dark with shock and anger. "Bianca, what have you done?" The torn pieces of the letter lay scattered on the floor like broken promises. No one in that luxurious room knew that this one torn letter contained a secret that could shake the entire Okonkwo empire and change the lives of everyone present forever. The torn pieces of the letter lay scattered on the cold marble floor like shattered dreams. Amara stood frozen, her eyes wide with horror and disbelief. All the sacrifices she had made, walking for hours in the rain, enduring the humiliation at the gate, carrying her dying mother's last wish, everything felt destroyed in that one cruel moment. Chief Adewale's voice thundered through the luxurious living room. "Bianca, have you lost your mind?" Bianca crossed her arms, her beautiful face twisted with arrogance. "Darling, these poor people are always trying to trick rich men with fake stories. I was protecting you. Who knows what kind of blackmail or scam this girl is bringing?" Amara fell to her knees and started picking up the torn pieces with trembling hands, tears mixing with the rainwater still dripping from her clothes. "This letter, my mother said it was very important. Chief's mother gave it to her with her own hands before she died. She said it was about family, about something hidden." Chief Adewale's face became serious. He had not seen his mother's handwriting in many years, but something in Amara's desperate eyes told him this was real. He turned to Bianca with cold anger. "You had no right. None at all." Bianca laughed bitterly. "You are really going to trust this dirty street girl over your own fiancé? After everything I have done for you?" Adewale ignored her and knelt down beside Amara. Gently, he helped her collect the pieces. "Come, my child. We will try to fix this. Tell me everything from the beginning." Amara sat on the edge of the expensive sofa, looking completely out of place. In a weak, shaking voice, she told the story. Her mother, Mrs. Chinello, had worked as a personal maid for Chief's mother for over 15 years. When the old woman was on her deathbed in London, she had given Mrs. Chinello a sealed letter and made her promise to deliver it personally to her son. But Mrs. Chinello fell seriously ill before she could fulfill the promise. Now on her deathbed in a poor government hospital in Lagos, she had begged Amara to complete her promise. Bianca stood aside, watching everything with folded arms and growing irritation. She hated how Adewale was giving attention to this poor girl. After listening to the full story, Chief Adewale called his personal assistant and ordered him to take Amara's mother to the best private hospital immediately and cover all expenses. Then he looked at the torn pieces of the letter. "We will try to reconstruct it. But even if we can't, I believe you, Amara." Bianca could not control herself anymore. "Adewale, you are being foolish. This is clearly a scam. Tomorrow she will come with more stories asking for money. Throw her out." Chief Adewale stood up slowly, his tall frame imposing. His voice became dangerously calm. "Bianca, go to your room. We will talk later." For the first time, Bianca looked scared. She had never seen Adewale speak to her like this. She stormed out of the living room, slamming the door behind her. Alone with Amara, Chief Adewale spoke softly. "My mother was a very wise woman. If she wrote this letter, it must be something very important. Something she couldn't tell me while she was alive." He looked at the torn pieces again. "Tomorrow, we will take these to experts and try to recover the message. But tonight, you will stay here. You are safe now." Amara started crying. For the first time in many months, she felt a small ray of hope. But deep inside the mansion, Bianca was making a phone call in her bedroom, her voice low and dangerous. "Yes, find out everything about this girl and her mother. I want them gone from our lives." Unknown to everyone, the torn letter contained a secret that could change the future of the Okonkwo family forever. A secret that involved hidden wealth, family betrayal, and a truth that Bianca was terrified of coming out. The next morning, the Okonkwo mansion was unusually quiet. Chief Adewale had not slept well. The image of that poor girl Amara standing soaked in the rain with her mother's last wish kept replaying in his mind. He called his most trusted lawyer and a document restoration expert to the house. Amara was given new clothes and a warm meal. For the first time in weeks, she ate properly. But her heart was still heavy with worry for her mother. Bianca came down for breakfast looking perfect as always, but her eyes were cold. She tried to act normal in front of Adewale. "Darling, I was just protecting you yesterday. You are a billionaire. People try to take advantage of you every day," she said sweetly while sipping her coffee. Adewale did not smile. "Bianca, you tore a letter that my late mother wrote. That is not protection. That is disrespect." The tension between them was thick. Bianca realized she had made a big mistake by showing her true colors so openly. Later that day, the document expert carefully spread the torn pieces on a large table. After hours of delicate work, he managed to reconstruct most of the letter. When Chief Adewale read the recovered message, his face went pale. The letter was written in his mother's elegant handwriting. It said, "My dear son Adewale, if you are reading this, it means I am no longer in this world. There is something I could not tell you while I was alive. Your father had a daughter from his first marriage before he married me. Her name is Chinelo. I hid this from you because your father asked me to. But Chinelo's daughter Amara is innocent. She and her mother have suffered greatly. I have left a large portion of my personal wealth and properties in a secret trust for them. The documents are with my lawyer in London. Please take care of them. They are your blood. Forgive me for keeping this secret. Your loving mother." Chief Adewale sat down heavily. He had a half-sister he never knew about, and Amara was his niece. He looked at Amara, who was waiting anxiously in the corner. Tears filled his eyes. "Amara, you are my family. My blood." Amara couldn't believe her ears. She started crying uncontrollably. All the years of poverty, struggle, and pain suddenly felt like they had a purpose. But Bianca, who had been secretly listening from the doorway, turned white with shock and rage. If this girl was accepted as family, her own position as future wife of the billionaire would be threatened. She quietly left the room and made another phone call. That evening, Chief Adewale took Amara to the best hospital to see her mother. Mrs. Chinelo was weak but conscious. When she saw Adewale, tears rolled down her cheeks. "I kept my promise," she whispered. Adewale held her hand. "You did. And from today, you and Amara will never suffer again." News of this family revelation started spreading quietly in the mansion. The servants who had looked down on Amara yesterday were now treating her with respect. But Bianca was not ready to accept defeat so easily. Late that night, she confronted Adewale in the bedroom. "You cannot bring this girl into our lives," she said angrily. "She is a stranger. She will destroy everything we have built. Send her away with some money and close this chapter." Adewale looked at her with disappointment. "Bianca, the only person destroying things here is you. First you tore the letter, now you want to throw away my own blood. I think we need to rethink our engagement." Bianca's face twisted with anger and fear. "You will regret this, Adewale. I am not someone you can discard so easily." The next morning, a big scandal broke in the Lagos newspapers. Someone had leaked false stories claiming that Chief Adewale was being blackmailed by a poor girl claiming to be his niece. The story was clearly planted by Bianca's people. Amara was devastated when she saw the news. She felt like she had brought trouble to the man who was trying to help her. Chief Adewale, however, remained calm. He called a press conference and publicly accepted Amara as his niece. He also announced that he was ending his engagement with Bianca. The war had just begun. Bianca was not going to go down without a fight, and she had dangerous connections. The Lagos press went crazy after Chief Adewale's announcement. Headlines screamed, "Billionaire Adewale Okonkwo accepts poor girl as niece, ends engagement with socialite Bianca." Bianca was furious. She had lost her position, her status, and her future as the wife of one of Nigeria's richest men. In her luxurious apartment in Banana Island, she smashed a crystal vase against the wall. "You think you can humiliate me like this, Adewale?" she whispered to herself. "I will destroy you and that little rat." Meanwhile, Chief Adewale moved Amara and her mother into a beautiful guest house on his property. Mrs. Chinello's health started improving rapidly with the best medical care. Amara could not stop thanking God for this miracle. One evening, Adewale sat with Amara on the terrace overlooking the ocean. "I am sorry for everything you and your mother suffered," he said. "If I had known earlier, I would have found you myself." Amara smiled shyly. "It's okay, Uncle. God has his own timing." Adewale decided to make Amara his official heir for a portion of his mother's wealth. He also enrolled her in one of the best universities in Lagos. For the first time in her life, Amara felt hope for a bright future. But Bianca was not sitting idle. She used her political connections and hired some dangerous people to dig up dirt. She leaked more fake stories claiming that Amara was a fraud and that Adewale had been tricked. The pressure started building on Adewale. Some business partners began questioning his decisions. Old family members who had never liked Bianca now started supporting her secretly, fearing that a poor village girl would take their share of the wealth. One night, Amara received a threatening call. A rough voice warned her, "Leave the Okonkwo house or something bad will happen to your mother." Amara was terrified. She ran to Chief Adewale crying. When he heard this, his blood boiled with anger. He immediately increased security and hired private investigators. Within 2 days, they found evidence that Bianca was behind the threats. Adewale confronted Bianca at her apartment. "I know what you are doing," he said calmly but firmly. "Stop this madness. I have already transferred properties to Amara as per my mother's wish. It is final."
Bianca laughed bitterly.
"You chose a street girl over me? After all the years I spent building your image? I will take you to court. I will tell everyone how you cheated on me and brought this girl to replace me." Adewale looked at her with pity. "Bianca, the only person you cheated was yourself. You chose greed over love. Now live with it." The final blow came a week later. Chief Adewale held a big family meeting. All his relatives, lawyers, and close friends were present. He publicly announced the contents of his mother's letter and showed DNA test results that confirmed Amara was indeed his niece. He also revealed that Bianca had been involved in several shady business deals using his name. Evidence was presented in front of everyone. Bianca, who had come uninvited, stood up and started shouting. But this time, no one supported her. Even her own family distanced themselves when they saw the proof. She left the meeting in tears, defeated and humiliated. That night, as Lagos lights twinkled, Chief Adewale, Amara, and her mother sat together for dinner like a real family. For the first time in many years, the mansion felt warm and peaceful. Adewale looked at Amara and said, "From today, you are not just my niece. You are my daughter. Welcome home." Amara cried happy tears. Her mother held her hand and whispered, Your grandmother's letter finally reached its destination. But the story was not completely over. Bianca had one last card to play, a dangerous one that could still destroy everything. The final storm came 2 weeks later. Bianca, in her desperation, leaked a forged document to the press claiming that Amara's mother had stolen money from the Okonkwo family years ago. The scandal exploded across Nigeria. Some people started believing the lies. Business partners began pulling out. Even some family members started pressuring Adewale to send Amara away. Amara felt broken. She told Chief Adewale, "Uncle, maybe I should go back. I don't want to destroy your reputation." Adewale smiled and held her hand. "This is your home now. We will fight together." He called a major press conference at the Okonkwo Tower in Victoria Island. The hall was packed with journalists from all over Nigeria and even some international channels. Chief Adewale stood tall and confident. Amara stood beside him, nervous but brave. He presented all the original documents, DNA reports, and his mother's recovered letter. Then he looked straight into the cameras and said, "Many years ago, my mother asked me to take care of my blood. Today, I am proud to say that Amara is my niece. She is family. Anyone who tries to harm her will have to face me first." He also revealed all the evidence against Bianca, the threats, the fake stories, and her shady deals. The press conference ended Bianca's reputation completely. Within days, she left Nigeria quietly and went abroad. No one heard from her again. With the truth out, the Okonkwo empire became even stronger. Chief Adewale expanded his business and started a foundation in his mother's name to help poor girls get education, the same kind of help Amara once needed. 1 year later, Amara stood on the stage at the University of Lagos receiving an award for academic excellence. Chief Adewale and her mother watched proudly from the front row. After the ceremony, Amara hugged her uncle tightly and whispered, "Thank you for believing in that torn letter." Adewale replied with tears in his eyes, "Thank you for bringing my mother's last wish to me." Moral of the story. Sometimes, the most important messages come in the most unexpected ways. Never judge a person by their clothes or status. A poor girl's honest heart can be more valuable than all the wealth in the world. Family is not always about blood. Sometimes it is about the love and respect we choose to give. And never tear apart someone's hope, because you never know whose life you are destroying. If you are facing struggles, betrayal, or difficult times, keep faith. One letter, one call, or one honest person can change everything. Thank you for reading this story till the end. If it touched your heart, please share it with others. What would you have done if you were in Chief Adewale's place? Comment below.